Things aren't always easy in life, but the Diamondbacks somehow found a way, despite their bullpen wanting to give it away, to win today's game. We're lighting up the Cactus Light. Booyah. Diamondbacks win the series. We're talking about it in 30 seconds. Don't you go anywhere. Welcome in to another edition of the PHNX Diamondbacks podcast right here on PHNX. My name is Derek Montiel, occasionally known as your mayor of PHNX. We got my guy, large, intimate Kevin Thomas on the ones and twos. I guess occasionally known as Kevin Thomas. He's occasionally known as a lot of things around here, including a serial hater, definitely a serial hater. But Diamondbacks win. Welcome in. Good to see you guys here in the chat. Cactus Light, it's on back there. And the Diamondbacks, they were on today. Their offense was on. They win by a score of 8-7. Doesn't really feel like it should have been as close as it was, and we are going to talk about that. Of course, this show is brought to you by our friends at Bet365 and Game Time. Go use that code of PHNX365 when you sign up over at Bet365. You'll get yourself some bonus bets. And of course, use our code of PHNX when you sign up at Game Time. You'll save $20 on your first deposit or your first purchase. So make sure to do that right now. Big win for the Diamondbacks today. Huge, in fact, with how competitive the NL West has been. They win today by a score of 8-7. They win yet another series. They've been very, very good in the series finale of a lot of games this year. They do not lose quite often in series finales, in fact. And again, this one was powered by the offense, who jumped all over Jordan Hicks early. Kevin, I know you have a little bit of background on Jordan Hicks, perhaps. Any surprise to see him kind of get jumped all over like this as a starter?
No, you leave the Cardinals, you lose all plot armor, Derek.
Wow.
You know this.
Wow, it's like that. Okay, well, it makes a lot of sense. I understand. I appreciate you being petty like that. I also am petty, but the Diamondbacks, of course, jumped all over him there. Ketel Marte, whose jersey I'm wearing today, just by chance I'm wearing his jersey. He hits a solo home run in the first inning. That was his fourth of the year. And then the Diamondbacks just really got things rolling in the second inning. They get that inning started with 4 hits in a row. And I think this was the exciting thing, was to see the offense kind of coming out and just really running on all cylinders early. They get those 4 hits in a row. Gino gets a leadoff single. Pavin Smith doubles. Then you have a Perdomo RBI single that scores Gino, an Alec Thomas RBI single that scores Pavin, and then Jose Herrera walks to load the bases. Of course, this time I did not send out the tweet about the mother effing snakes being all over the mother effing plane, and they still didn't do anything with the bases loaded. So much to the chagrin of Twitter user, whatever your name is, that blamed me and our account for, the Diamondbacks not converting when they have the bases loaded. They once again failed to do that. I do want to just check in with you guys again. You guys do know that the things we say on Twitter don't actually impact baseball games. The only reason why I wanted to clarify that is because there is no way this team would have made a run to the World Series in 2023 if that was the case. I assure you, I ran my mouth quite a bit on the account. But Diamondbacks ran all over, again, Jordan Hicks today. More of the same there in the third inning. Gurriel gets a leadoff double. You got a Josh Naylor hit for a single, and that's when Jordan Hicks' day comes to an end. He gets pulled for Hayden Birdsong, and then Eugenio Suarez hits a 3-run home run to make this a 6-2 game. That home run, of course, very big for this team. That is our Sanderson Ford deep drive of the game. Gino hit the hell out of that baseball. And more than just being the deep drive of the game, there's a lot of teal in those tread marks on that graphic there, Kevin. Do you want to just go ahead and do the dumb little thing that I know you want to do? Do you want to just update the...
Hooray!
There it is.
That deserves a Glockenspiel, I think.
Yeah. Hit him with the Glockenspiel. That makes things better.
I'll get a Glockenspiel for you
All
next
right.
time you put it up. I want it to come on as it arrives.
Our beard bet is up to 12. and that's where we're at. So I guess Glockenspiel. Kevin can't find it. I'm gonna harass him the whole time. We're not moving on until you hit it.
It just got hit. It was hit.
Okay. Well, I just can't hear it. I'm again, this is exposing my age, but people in the chat already want a DFA Jordan Lawler. I tried to tell you. People. I really tried my best to tell you to temper your expectations and still temper your expectations. I know Jordan Lawler hasn't found a ton of success today. He had a weird obstruction call that we're definitely going to talk about. But again, that's not what impacted today's game. What impacted today's game was Ketel Marte. Ketel Marte with his bat, he hit that solo home run there in the first inning. That was his 4th of the year. Then he hits his 5th of the year. Not too much longer. In the 4th inning, he had a 2-run home run, and that pushed the lead up to 8-2. Of course, Ketel Marte might indeed be back. Kevin, I don't know what your thoughts are on Ketel Marte being back. I know we say this a little too quickly, but 2 for 4 today, 3 RBI, 2 home runs. Feels like he's back.
Indeed, it does. It does feel like Ketel Marte is back. You just hope he stays healthy, right?
God, I hope they all stay healthy. We had that situation there with Pavin Smith having some issues with his ankle after he got caught attempting to steal. That's not great. The last thing the Diamondbacks need is to lose Pavin, considering what he contributed today. He was 2 for 4 with a walk. His batting average is up to 306. His OPS is 955. So the Diamondbacks cannot afford to lose Pavin's bat. But Ketel Marte, once again, absolutely our king snake in today's game. And that's well-deserved for Ketel Marte. He had himself an incredible day. And again, big reason why the Diamondbacks are able to walk away from this one. Good contributions all around, though. And that's, again, why the Diamondbacks were able to put up 8 runs. Lourdes Gurriel Jr. was 2 for 5 today. Josh Naylor, 2 for 5. Eugenio Suarez was 2 for 4 with his home run and those 3 RBI. Pavin Smith was 2 for 4. So lots of multi-hit days here from guys on the team. But again, Ketel's multi-hit day, a little bit more impressive than the rest of them. So Ketel Marte gets that king snake for this game. Love seeing Ketel just have his kind of swagger back. It feels like he looks more confident up there. I would still love to see a little bit better at bats at times, but I'm not going to complain about a 2 home run day from anybody at any time ever. So I'm just going to move on and say, God bless Ketel being back. Again, we did have the obstruction call there, which was weird. That was in the bottom of the 8th inning with 2 outs. Christian Koss walked. He gets over to first base. Elliot Ramos singles on a ground ball to Gino. Christian Koss goes to second. Apparently, there was an interference error by Jordan Lawler. Or was it? That Journey is absolutely right. The one thing that we were screaming for in the office besides justice was when the John Boy breakdown about this interaction drops, because it's going to be incredible. I don't know, Kevin, I need to get somebody else's thoughts on this, because I felt like I was an insane person watching this. Did he interfere with Koss? What is your take?
My take is not about the interference. It was more about me and Reese from our Rising podcast. We were watching this game, and I thought Koss died. Like they showed, when they cut to him on the ground.
That was what I was focused on.
Tore something or broke a bone.
I felt like what I saw in real time wasn't actually what happened, because I did see like like him on the ground in agonizing pain, and I was like, whatever I saw with my own eyes must not have been what really happened. But Ryan H might be onto something. He said Koss flopping like LBJ. He basically, like, he looked like Peter Griffin out there when Peter Griffin gets hit and he falls and has the one leg flop over the other leg. Yeah, I thought his career was over. I thought his life might possibly be in jeopardy with the way that he was on the ground. But no, he popped right back up and seemed to be fine. Meanwhile, it was decided that the out that was called an out on the field would be changed to interference, and thus both runners are at first and second were safe. And that is where Torey Lovello lost it. Tori came out and started talking very disrespectfully, despite the fact that we couldn't actually see the words he was saying, but you just knew it based on the mannerisms and the gesture. Someone asked where was this going? I was like, there is no resolution to this. There is no peaceful ending to this altercation. The only ending to this is Tori getting thrown out of the game. And I was wrong, Kevin. I was wrong, because that was not the ending we got. Instead, what we got was Tori Lovullo throwing out each and every umpire. And you know what? God bless him for it, because sometimes these umpires need to be thrown out of a game. And I think that it's time for me to throw a little shade at this whole situation. Kevin, can you give me some throwing shade music, please? All 4 umpires, you were all tossed from the game. I don't understand why you proceeded to stay on the field, but it was very clear here that Tori Lovullo, in his rage, tossed every single one of you. And I feel like baseball managers, though not respectful at times, do actually follow the rules of the game. And I know maybe he doesn't have the authority to do so, but after this terrible, terrible call that you made, I do think that you all 4 deserve to be tossed from the game. Hit the showers. We need MLB to institute a policy where there's a backup crew of 4 umpires ready to go at any time, so that this can be maybe voted on. Maybe we throw this to New York. Maybe they put the cans on this, and then the home plate umpire has to make the announcement to the crowd that New York did in fact find that this was in Tori Lovullo's favor. He gets to stay. We all 4 have to go, and there'll be a new officiating crew taking the field here momentarily. That's what I want in baseball, because God damn it, he threw all of you out of the game, and not a single one of you made a step to the bullpen or the showers. And that's crazy. That's crazy to me. But yeah, that's really all I got. I can't muster up the same kind of energy that Tori had. And again, I can't wait to see the John Boy breakdown for that, because that's going to be an incredible video to watch. So credit to our guys there. And I honestly, this was a whole stupid situation, and it really didn't matter. What I also did really enjoy about this was the fact that then there was a further discussion. I don't know if it was about advancing the runners to second and third. I don't know what happened, but it felt like there was an ongoing conversation that involved Jeff Bannister, who had taken over essentially as manager once Tori Lovullo had been thrown out of the game, needing to come out and have a conversation with the home plate umpire. That conversation kind of looked pretty heated, right? Like there was a chance here that we were going to get down to maybe Brian Kaplan having to take over as manager for the Diamondbacks in this game, because it didn't look like whatever Bannister was being told was something that he agreed with. And that was, again, I think Nick Mallory is his name. That's home plate umpire. I don't know. But again, yes, throwing shade is dedicated to our friends at Shady Rays, and I will throw to them here shortly. But Diamondbacks win this one by a score of 8-7. No shade can be thrown at that score. And again, I know that the Diamondbacks have not made this easy on us. We're going to talk about the pitching. We're going to talk about the bullpen. We're going to talk about a lot of things in this game. But the most important thing to remember here is that they, in fact, win. The Diamondbacks' 7 home runs and combined 11 home runs at the Giants are their most in a 3-game series. That's historically, that's their 7 homers were the most in a 3-game series ever when playing at against the Giants at their home. So great series here. We're going to go over those series numbers as well. But we have a lot to address in regards to this pitching staff, adding years, or I guess I should say not adding years, taking years away from my life in this game. So, of course, don't you go anywhere. We'll be right back. You're watching the PHNX Diamondback Show. And yes, Shady Rays is the perfect sunglass company to be wearing when you're throwing shade. It's also the perfect sunglass company to look to if you need a new pair of shades for this terrible, terrible summer that we have coming upon us. Of course, things are going to get hot fast. That sun's going to be out a long time during the day, and you need a perfect pair of eyewear to cover your eyes and protect those protect yourself. Protect yourself from the sun with Shady Rays. They're an independent sunglass company that offers a world-class product. They have durable frames and crystal clear optics, some amazing polarized lenses. They also have their Color Rush lenses, which are incredible. I've had a chance to have a pair of those. And those are unlike anything I've ever seen. Not only are they polarized, but they make all colors, all bright and vivid. And again, if your shades ever go missing or take an unexpected hit, Shady Rays has the craziest broken and replacement plan lost or broken replacement plan in all of eyewear. I can't speak today, but that's because I've used their replacement plan too many times. Basically, if you lose or break your Shady Rays, even on day one, they will get you back with a brand new pair of shades. No questions asked. So, of course, check them out. PHNX viewers and listeners, you can go to shadyrays.com and save 35% off polarized sunglasses with our code of PHNX. Over 300,000 people have rated Shady Rays 5 stars, so use code PHNX today at shadyrays.com. Also, whatever the moment, it is never ordinary at Bet365. You guys know that, and you guys know on the app that you can get down on their MLB early payout offer where you are a winner if your team goes up by 5 runs, regardless of the outcome of the game. Your straight parlay selections will be marked as winners. Everything will be marked as winners. And of course, Bet365 is the place to go for live in-game betting. They pioneered live in-game betting. They offer the widest range of games and markets available for live in-game betting across 78 sports. Check them out today. New customers right now can get $150 in bonus bets when you bet $5, win or lose. All you got to do is sign up, use that code of PHNX365 when you do. Deposit $10 and place a bet for $5 to receive $150 in bonus bets, regardless if your bet wins or loses. Bonus bets can be used on the spread, totals, players, props, futures, and more. Whatever the moment, it's never ordinary. Bet365 must be 21 or over and physically located in Arizona. If you or someone you know has a gambling problem and wants help, call 1-800-NEXT-STEP. Text Next Step to 53342 or visit problemgambling.az.gov. And I know you guys are all ball knowers in the chat, and we've been talking a little bit about our ball knower bonus over at the PHNX merch store. If you haven't had a chance to check it out right now, all you got to do is make a pick. It's easy. You go over, buy some merch. You make a selection on who is going to win the series between the Arizona Diamondbacks and the Los Angeles Dodgers coming up after this upcoming series with the Rockies. And it's this easy. All you got to do is make that pick. You click the link in the description, make your pick, place an order in the ALLCITY merch store for $25 or more. And if you pick correctly, you get a gift card to the merch store for the same amount as your original order. It's that simple. No betting is required. There's nothing on your end. All you got to do is make a pick, buy some merch. And of course, if you are correct, you will get that gift card back. One important thing is you must click the link in the chat or in our show notes to qualify for the gift card, and make sure, I believe the first thing that will come up will be you making that selection for that series. Option 1 being the Diamondbacks, option 2 being the Dodgers. I know so many of you are going to have a real tough decision with that choice. So again, for all ball knowers, make your pick, then place an order. If you pick correctly, you are going to get a gift card from us for the same amount as your order. That's the ball knower bonus from PHNX. All on-sale items are eligible for this promotion so long as the total value of the order is $25 or more at checkout. And yes, we are going to have a conversation today that a lot of you have been having, a lot of us have been having in regards to Eduardo Rodriguez and possibly Ryne Nelson taking over his spot. I would argue that neither guy was great today. I don't even know if either guy was very good. This was another start where Erod didn't really have his best stuff in this one. He gave up I believe a single in the first inning. In the second inning, he walked 2. He gives up a pair of singles for the Giants' first run. Then Heliot Ramos hits a sac fly for the second run, and that makes the score 3-2 after 2 innings. And again, he just really didn't seem to be having, especially establishing his four-seam fastball today. He only got 2 whiffs on the four-seam today. He got 4 whiffs on the changeup. So again, when he was able to establish it in certain at-bats, he was able to be successful, but it felt like that was the thing missing today. In the 4th inning, he walked the leadoff hitter in Luis Matos. He gives up a single to David Villar, a Ramos double, and then 2 runs scored. So that put the lead to, I believe it was 6-4 at that point. So just not another day where it was unimpressive from Erod. He was able to get some outs. He got some strikeouts. Again, this is probably a waste of electricity, though I think that the Circle K strikeout meter deserves better. Let's kick it on, though, Kevin, because Eduardo Rodriguez got 4 strikeouts today and did not give the Diamondbacks very much length in this game. I think that's the thing that's a bit challenging about today's outing. Not only was he not very good, but he gives the Diamondbacks 4 innings pitched. He gives up 5 hits, 4 earned runs. He walks 3. He struck out 4. He only threw 76 pitches. And that right there really is a testament to, I guess, Torey Lovullo and Brian Kaplan not really believing in Eduardo Rodriguez being able to go out there and give them another inning. And I mean, again, based on the way today was going, you could see it in his stuff that he didn't have his best stuff. But with the current condition of the bullpen, it felt like it was a bit of an indictment about how bad Erod has been and how bad he was today, that the Diamondbacks didn't allow him to go out there in the 5th inning and try to get one more inning of work in. So again, the bullpen had a lot of work to do. Ryne, they got it done. Shelby Miller, he made things entirely too exciting, and I mean that in the worst possible way. But I guess the Diamondbacks' best reliever today was tea time, Ryan Thompson, who went out there and did his job in the 5th inning. He got 1 inning. He did allow a hit, but he got 2 strikeouts, no runs allowed, gets out of the 5th. And then they turned to Ryne Nelson, who, again, is the guy that a lot of people have been looking to as the potential replacement in the starting rotation for Erod and his inability to perform. And today was another case for that. But Ryne Nelson also wasn't very sharp. And it's another day where when his fastball isn't truly dominant, you don't see his best stuff. In 3 innings of work, Ryne gave up 3 hits. He gave up 2 earned runs. He gave up 2 walks, and he struck out 5. Still a better day, potentially, you could say, by comparison than Erod, but not much better. So again, in this exact game, in this apples to apples kind of comparison, you could see that Ryne Nelson, even though he might still be an option for the Diamondbacks as a starter, really didn't, go out there and blow you away and make you feel like this is the guy that's going to replace Erod and have much better success. I will say that, again, they need to figure something out with Nelson, and if they do want to commit to this, they have to get him stretched out. And again, time is ticking on that, because there does come a certain point where they're not going to convert a reliever to a starting pitcher based on how deep into the season they are and how many innings they've pitched. I mean, it could be an opener situation where Ryne Nelson goes out there and does pitch like 3 to 4 innings, but doesn't really surpass maybe, 60 pitches. But again, Erod today only gave him 76. So it's not like there's much of a case to be made as to why Erod would be more successful, than Ryne Nelson right now. I don't know. Neither pitcher has a great ERA. Erod has a 7.05 ERA. Ryne Nelson has a 5.13 ERA. So not a great compare, or not exactly a guy right now that is proving it day in, day out that he's pitching better than Eduardo Rodriguez. At times, Ryne Nelson has proven to be better, and he does have those outings where I think he's incredible. I think we've all seen that. It's just, it does feel like that time is running out on the idea of him potentially being converted to a starter. And also with the Diamondbacks' current bullpen woes, I don't know if they can really afford to lose a weapon like him in the bullpen right now. That's another thing, is that removing Ryne Nelson from the bullpen puts Eduardo Rodriguez into the bullpen. I'm not sure if that's something that people want, or how that will even go for Erod, how he would take that, how, I don't know. Again, I don't know how that situation would play out. I just don't feel like it would be something that someone like Eduardo Rodriguez would want to accept. And again, we've already seen this kind of play out last season when Jordan Montgomery struggled and the Diamondbacks made a similar move. So not great. Also, what wasn't great was the 9th inning there for Shelby Miller. Diamondbacks had a 2-run lead. It really did feel like Shelby Miller was going to come in and kind of dominate. And instead, what we got was an absolute roller coaster ride. He gets Jung-Hoo Lee to fly out to center field, or the left field. Then Max Chapman singles. Willy Adames hits a ground rule double to, let's be honest, probably a great thing for the Diamondbacks that it was a ground rule double. Probably a very big moment that ball did not stay in play, because who knows, chances are Chapman scores on that one. and maybe Adames ends up making it to third. Patrick Bailey then walks. That was probably the batter for me, Kevin. That was the most egregious of the ninth inning because Patrick Bailey has really been struggling. They did bring him in based on the matchup with Shelby Miller, but I think he's hitting like 167 this year, or maybe 179. Excuse me.
No, you're good. I just remember that because me and Espo, we were watching the game with you, and I was talking to him about, well, if you were going to intentionally walk, because someone, I forget who it was, brought up the idea of, do you just intentionally walk this guy, whoever's coming up next, to give you the double play ball chance again?
Yeah.
And me and Espo were watching him walk Bailey, I believe, and we're thinking, man,
this is the guy.
Wasted energy.
This is the guy.
You either attack him and get him out, or you intentionally walk him. But throwing all those pitches to end up walking a guy batting 179 was kind of crazy.
And then you pitch to Mike Yastrzemski, and again, a guy that's been hitting the cover off the ball at times this year, and he strikes out swinging. So you have it down to the final out, and bases loaded essentially, and once again, Shelby Miller walks another batter. He walks Lamont Wade Jr., another guy who's been struggling this year. They brought him in as a pinch hitter. He's hitting 157 with a 510 OPS. And again, this was the big thing, was I think not attacking batters that have not been putting up good numbers this year. Like it feels like a big problem with this team at times where they like the pitchers. This goes for Zach Gallen. This is something that I've criticized Zach Gallen about. Goes up in the count and doesn't really attack and doesn't go after him. Then kind of spends all of his pitches, puts himself into a full count, and then just all he has to do is miss on one, and he walks in this case, walks in a very crucial run, making it an 8-7 game. You still had bases loaded, and then the final batter of the game is Christian Koss, who's kind of been a bit of the star of this series a little bit. He's been the main character, or maybe the antagonist in this series for the Diamondbacks. He flies out to center field to end the game. But again, just entirely too much of a roller coaster, right? I couldn't believe, I'm like Jay Cuddy here. Jay Cuddy says, can't believe we actually got out of that, to be honest. I couldn't either. I don't think any single person here in our office watching that game with us believed that the Diamondbacks got out of that. And honestly, I don't know if they even deserve to, with the way that Shelby Miller pitched there at the end of the game. This team had a pretty significant lead in this game. Their offense put up 8 runs, and it's crazy that this ended up coming down to being a 1-run game in the 9th inning. So again, mistakes were made. Not everybody was perfect. Not everybody was sharp. However, this one is one of those wins where you got to credit Ketel Marte for what he was able to do with his bat, Eugenio Suarez for taking one step closer to turning my beard into a teal monstrosity, and again, an overall solid performance from the team to keep kind of scrapping away multiple multi-hit days today from the offense. Diamondbacks would not have won this game without the offense being so big and giving them such a huge cushion early on. So again, they were able to go out there and do what they did against against a starting pitcher that is arguably not really a starting pitcher, but something that the Giants were committed to doing with Jordan Hicks, and today did not work out for them. But the Diamondbacks needed to win this series. This is once again game 7 of their 13-game stretch against the NL West, and they have 3 more games here against the Colorado Rockies at home, and then 3 games against those damn Dodgers. So we're going to talk about that Rockies series later on. We're not really previewing it, but I'm going to scream about it being our rivalry week for some goddamn reason. But we will do that on the other side of this break. Of course, don't you go anywhere. We're also going to talk about the numbers from this series. So don't you go anywhere. You're watching the PHNX Diamondback Show. Well, of course, as a small business owner, you might not have the luxury of clocking out early. So let LinkedIn help you out with your hiring process. Your business needs to be on your mind 24/7 when you own your own business. So when you're hiring, you need a partner that grinds as hard as you do. LinkedIn will do that for you. Of course, LinkedIn is the place for all qualified candidates. And of course, you can manage that all in one place over at LinkedIn. Post your job, with LinkedIn's new feature that can help you write jobs descriptions, then you can quickly get your job in front of the right people with deep candidate insights. And that's the important thing, is making sure that your job description matches with the right candidates. And that's exactly what LinkedIn can do. According to LinkedIn data, 72% of small businesses using LinkedIn say that LinkedIn helps them find high quality candidates. You can let your network know you're hiring, and you can add a hiring frame to your profile picture and get 2 times more qualified candidates. Of course, post your jobs for free right now at linkedin.com/Dbacks. That's linkedin.com/Dbacks to post your job for free. Terms and conditions do apply.
Derek, I always say I wouldn't be here without LinkedIn.
Right?
That's how I got this job.
It's good. It's a good way to know how what your friends are up to, and whenever they get their promotions, you can
congratulate Derek on his newest position as PHNX podcast host.
I also want to still congratulate Espo on getting All Pro Shade Concepts to come out and upgrade his home. I'm very jealous of that. You should be too, because Espo's home is now going to be 20 degrees cooler during the summer, and of course that heat is coming very soon. Blocks out, they can post shades up on your house that block out 95% of those harmful UV rays, and they can extend your outdoor living space with a custom fit awning. They have hundreds of designs to choose from, colors that match your HOA guidelines and all of that. So look to All Pro Shade Concepts. Of course, they can also replace and fix most old or outdated patio shades and motorized awnings. And they've been in business right here in the Valley for 20 years. Voted #1 by Ranking Arizona for patio shades in 2024, with over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google. Call them right now for a free estimate, 623-204-1476, or visit allproshadeconcepts.com right now to schedule that free estimate. And Stephen Mitchell says, just applied for Dbacks closer position on LinkedIn. Steven, are you a lefty? Are you a righty? Let's talk. We can definitely get you in here, at least for an initial screening, right? That's what we do first. What do you got, Kevin?
No, sorry. I was actually going to bring up the idea of Ryan's comment real quick, of saying, I was going to say, my bad, Ryan. He's actually right. I got this job because of my hot takes on breakfast food.
No,
so
he didn't. In fact, if they would have known about that, if maybe ALLCITY properly used LinkedIn, they could have researched his takes. They could have seen maybe somewhere on his application or on his resume where he listed his feelings about breakfast cereal and been like, you know what, this isn't the guy for us. But I'm glad they didn't do that, because I'm happy that Kevin is here despite how terrible his takes can be at times. And he also helps me do things like this wonderful graphic showing you guys the numbers from this series presented by our friends at Desert Financial Credit Union. The Diamondbacks get outscored by the Giants 18-16, but that really doesn't matter because they win 2 out of 3 games. The Diamondbacks hit 7 home runs to the Giants 4 home runs. Actually, one of the better series for them with runners in scoring position, despite the fact that I was talking about them being basically tied with the Mets for the worst batting average with runners in scoring position by teams with a winning record. Diamondbacks were 8 for 23 in this series with runners in scoring position. Giants were 5 for 25. Starting pitching ERA, not great for the Diamondbacks here, of course. That was impacted greatly by the 2 4-inning outings that allowed 4 runs. Meanwhile, Merrill Kelly was outstanding in his outing, 7 innings, 1 earned run allowed. Giants had a 6.43 ERA. That was definitely not helped by Jordan Hicks's 2-inning outing today, where he allowed 5 earned runs. Relief pitching ERA, also not great for the Diamondbacks, 7.36 in this series. Again, 6 earned runs allowed in game 2, 3 earned runs allowed today by the bullpen. And then the Giants, they also did not have a great series, and their bullpen has been really, really good this year. So I guess the Diamondbacks putting up a 4.15 ERA on the Giants bullpen is pretty big. They do have the best bullpen ERA in all of baseball. And of course, that's probably a big reason why we were looking at the Diamondbacks winning this series 2-3 currently. But a very important win because of the current division standings. Again, we are sitting here on May 14th, and we absolutely should not be looking at the standings. There is no reason to, but I don't care. We're going to do it anyway. Kevin, throw those up on the screen. This is once again the NL West. The Rockies, I still won't let Kevin gray out the Rockies. We're not going to do that. But the Diamondbacks now sit at 23-21, just 2 games back from the Giants, who sit, 4 games back in the loss column from the Padres, and also 4 games back in the loss column from the Dodgers. a lot of winning going on in this division, and it makes me sick. I can't stand it. I get tired of looking up and seeing the Padres be down to the Angels, only for them to come back and hit a walk-off home run in the 9th inning. This very much feels like last season. Not to say that the Diamondbacks right now are in as good of a stretch as they were, but there was a stretch last season where every time the Diamondbacks won, we couldn't even enjoy it because you look over your shoulder and there's the Padres winning another game. And there's the Mets winning another game, and there's these teams winning another game.
And then there's the Dodgers losing to the Athletics. Oh.
Right now again?
No, I'm just saying they lost last night. I'm just saying you're naming all the winning, but
that was fun.
Yeah.
That was fun. That's fun. It's always fun. But again, throw that division standing up there again, because again, this is gross and I hate it. But now that the Diamondbacks have beat the Giants, again, they pretty much take on everybody here except the Padres during this 13-game stretch. They take on the Dodgers twice inexplicably, 4 games, and now they got another 3-game series coming up with the Dodgers after they have a 3-game series at home here versus the Rockies. And man, I don't know if I have anything left. I didn't really give it my all in throwing shade earlier, and that was for good reason, because I'm going to yell here in a little bit about, for some reason, the Colorado Rockies being the Arizona Diamondbacks rivals. But again, huge series win here for the Diamondbacks, and the most important thing is that they keep this division there, as you see in the standings, close, right? Like, we shouldn't be looking at standings on May 14th. There's absolutely no reason to. However, it does provide you with good motivation, especially when you know how important each and every game is. That's what most fans' complaints are, right? We've had these complaints. We watched what happened last year. We know how the Diamondbacks came 1 game short. So especially against the division, you want to see the Diamondbacks going out there and giving it their all. You don't want to see what happened in game 2, where the Diamondbacks kind of had their relievers go out there and throw this one away. And then it really didn't seem like they were really doing much to manage to try to keep the team in the game. Diamondbacks did score some runs in game 2. It's not like they didn't do, they didn't make some sort of a comeback. However, it was just so far out of reach in that game that it did feel like it was kind of given away, right? It was one of those waving the white flag situations, and nobody wants to see that with this team. Nobody wants to especially see that against a division rival, and this series was far too important. But I do want to take a moment to honor Merrill Kelly for his outing again. Merrill Kelly in this series was incredible, and I mean, you can't say enough there about the fact that Merrill Kelly has won his 57th game. At this point, he sits 1 game behind Curt Schilling for the 3rd most wins in Diamondbacks history. He's most likely, knock on, I'm not even going to say it, but there's a good chance he passes Curt Schilling and ends up on the all-time win list there in 3rd place. And again, outside of one bad outing that he's had this year, Merrill Kelly has been incredible for this team. And once again, with some rocky outings from guys like Brandon Pfaadt, Merrill Kelly is turned once again into the most consistent pitcher in the starting rotation.
My question to you, Derek, about Merrill Kelly, is he an underrated Diamondback?
I think so. I think that if you, and you know, maybe I should do a deeper dive into this outside of this show, because Merrill Kelly definitely deserves his flowers. I think a lot of people would be surprised to know that Merrill Kelly is 3rd on the all-time win list in franchise history. I think a lot of people would not expect to see Merrill Kelly up there with Randy Johnson, Brandon Webb, and Curt Schilling, right? So I you know, to his credit, Curt Schilling did it in less games, right? But Merrill Kelly, again, is a product of the Valley. He's a guy that's always had a deep connection to this city, and I think that for me makes him like more of a Arizona guy, Phoenix guy, right? Like the way that he's pitched collegiately here, the way that he's lived here, the way he's just a guy from right here in the city is one of those things that makes him, I think, even more endearing to us maybe than those other names on the list. But yeah, I will say that he's low key. You know, I would say that again, that's probably a surprise. And to his credit, Zach Gallen isn't far behind. I think Zach Gallen right now sits at 55 career wins. So again, Zach Gallen will most likely pass up there past Curt Schilling as well and be right there with Merrill Kelly. both of those guys deserve their flowers for their time here, especially if it comes to an end at the end of the season, right? They both had a very special career, but in a way, Gallen has been the guy that's gotten all of the attention while Merrill Kelly's just quietly done it. I think that's the thing about Merrill is that he goes out there, he gets the job done. He has those outings where you're like, oh, wow, Merrill got 9 strikeouts tonight, and you're kind of surprised by it. But that's because sometimes good pitchers, which I've said this about Corbin Burns lately, don't need to go out there and get a ton of strikeouts. They just need to go out there and be effective and limit the amount of hits allowed, runs allowed, and get outs. And that's what Merrill Kelly does. And he's very, very good at that. He's been good his entire time with the Diamondbacks, but really lately he's really just come on and especially getting that, combination of success with length and giving the Diamondbacks everything they need out of their starting pitching rotation. Things are getting very solid for this team right now. And again, Brandon Pfaadt didn't have a great outing, but you believe that is more of an outlier and that we're going to see more of those good starts from Brandon this year than the bad ones. Eduardo Rodriguez really is the only question mark for this team. We've seen what Zach Gallen can do. Maybe if we can just convince Zach Gallen that every team that he's facing is actually from the state of New York, he'll have a Cy Young season. But Eduardo Rodriguez today, again, another short outing, another outing where he didn't establish his fastball, didn't get ahead in counts, and didn't have a good outing, quite frankly, right? And I think he's probably been the most disappointing part of this rotation because we've seen him have, 12, 13 strikeout games. We know what he's capable. We know that, he's a good pitcher. It's just he really can't seem to find it every 5 days and bring his best. And honestly, that could be said about Zach Gallen lately too, because despite the fact that he has been very good at times, he also has not been able to find it consistently on a back-to-back-to-back basis. You feel like this starting rotation is very capable of that. And you feel like if they can give you that, you have your offense putting up 8 runs. You have, the runs are getting scored. Things are rolling offensively for this team again. You really do feel like they can go on a pretty nice stretch here and finish up this stretch against the NL West strong. They are currently 1 game up. They are 4-3 so far in their 13-game stretch, and they have 6 more games left to go. 3 of those games against a Rockies team that can't figure out a way to win. I'm not going to get hung up too much on this Rockies series. Again, we're going to preview it on tomorrow's show. Got a show tomorrow. Diamondbacks are off tomorrow, so we'll have a 2 p.m. show tomorrow. But I will say that, not that the Rockies series is a test, but if the Diamondbacks don't perform well against a team that is struggling this bad, I'm going to not stop any of you from saying all of the crazy things that you want to say because this team probably would deserve it if they don't do that. We got an update here from Caesar, actually from Nick Picoro. He says Ketel Marte told manager Torey Lovullo he needed to come out, started to feel general body stiffness, didn't want to push it. Both Marte and Lovullo expect him to be back in the lineup Friday. So that's good news because we do know Ketel was pulled from the game. And, of course, with his hamstring injury and the way that it has come back in the past in previous seasons, that's something he could very easily re-aggravate, and we don't want to see that happen. That was the reason Jordan Lawler came into the game, and so that is the reason why we end up having the obstruction call. Don't make me put my sunglasses back on because I absolutely will. I might have to put my sunglasses back on because Rivalry Week is coming up here soon. And it's actually this weekend. It's Rivalry Weekend. And we are somehow paired together with the Colorado Rockies. And I have a lot of things to say about that. But I did want to tell you guys first about our PHNX Diamondbacks pool party takeover at Chase Field on July 3rd. That is apparently Shane's birthday. So Shane is hijacking this and turning it into his birthday party. I don't know if that means you have to bring a present for Shane. But I would also like a consolation gift if you are bringing presents as well. That's the way my grandma raised me. So so that I wouldn't get jealous of my brothers when they got birthday gifts. So Kevin, if you bring a gift for Shane, you have to also bring me like a Hot Wheel or something small so that I won't get upset. But it is time for a pool party. We had a blast last year. It was honestly, for me, I won't lie, it was one of the best experiences I've ever had at Chase Field. I do not get a chance to actually watch baseball games there very often because I'm too busy having to write an essay about the things I saw and not drink beers and not have fun with my friends. So I am very much looking forward to seeing all of you guys out there on July 3rd. Tickets are very limited. You get a game ticket to the Dbacks versus Nationals in the pool, complimentary food. There will be beverages during the entirety of the game. And yeah, we're going to have a blast. So join us. We're going to be out there. Join the other diehards, and let's have a great time celebrating not only the Diamondbacks playing baseball, but Shane's birth.
Derek, I think Pool Party Takeover deserves a DJ air horn if you'd like to cue it up again.
Pool Party Takeover! That's fun. That's delightful. Yeah, as delightful as a takeover at the pool. It is the best takeover. The reason why is I do like our conventional takeovers when we sit in the seats, but then I only sit in one seat, and it's hard to mingle around during a baseball game without disturbing the other people around us. And, again, not getting a chance to talk to everybody always kind of bums me out. So we'll be there. We'll be in the pool. One of the security guards last time told me we were the most people he had ever seen in the pool at one of the pool events. So let's beat that number next time, right? Let's make some human soup. Can't wait.
Gross.
Yeah, I know. I had to make it gross there at the end. Speaking of making it gross, the MLB made things gross this weekend, Kevin, because they decided that during rivalry weekend, they were just going to randomly pair up a couple of teams with other teams to make us rivals, I guess, because we have nobody else. So somehow the Arizona Diamondbacks are saddled with our well-known rival, the Colorado Rockies, this weekend. And I can't express enough to you people here watching this show how much I hate that. I hate the idea of the Colorado Rockies being our rival. What is this over? Is this over the color purple? Because if that's the case, then we deserve to have it. The Diamondbacks have an all-time record of 262 to 209 against the Rockies. I feel like that means if the case of this is over the color purple, then the Diamondbacks win. And I know we got the City Connect jerseys back, but that means Colorado can't use purple at all anymore in any way because we own it now. It's back to us. That's the way that this should work. No, I don't like this, Kevin. I don't really feel like Colorado is our actual rivalry. And I know this because I've said it time and time again. Our actual rivalry is the Tampa Bay Rays. That's our actual rival. That is our sister team, our cousin team, whatever you want to call it. We came into the league together. We were born together.
Your biological rival.
We're biological rivals. Our records in general are just insanely close. I know I read those numbers to you when we were playing the Tampa Bay Rays, but give me the Tampa Bay Rays. That is a rivalry I want. And he says, Carlos IP says there are rivals over 2007, a rivalry that no one under the age of 40 cares about anymore. Yeah, you're right about that. Also, I feel like the Brewers are more of a rival of the Arizona Diamondbacks. I feel like anybody in the National League West is more of a rival than the Diamondbacks. They partnered the Padres with the Mariners, I want to say. That doesn't make a lot of sense to me. The Mariners and Brewers should absolutely be rivals based on the fact that, the Brewers used to be the Seattle Pilots, and then they were there for a short time. Then they stole them, and they brought them, and then that caused Seattle to get a team, and then a bunch of teams started building baseball stadiums to attract teams to move to their state. That's how Tropicana was born. And yeah, there's all sorts of stuff there. It's all because the Pilots moved to Milwaukee, but don't get me started on that.
Are we sure that this rivalry is not over a certain medicinal product? And who has the highest quality medicinal product?
I mean, I don't exactly look at, again, to me, that would be a Colorado versus the Seattle Mariners, right? Those were the two first states to legalize it. Those are the two states. I mean, California definitely would like a word there.
Yeah, I'm reaching for straws. I'm reaching for straws over here.
Yeah, but I don't know. I don't know. It's Elise says, are we sure it's rivalry weekend? Because if it is, it's a joke. No, you know what I think they do is they have these rivalries that they kind of make up. Okay, they have geographical rivalries, which always make sense, and you're never going to argue about that. You have the White Sox versus the Cubs. You have the Marlins versus the Rays. You have Los Angeles Dodgers versus the Los Angeles Angels. You have the Pirates versus the Phillies. All of this makes sense. Nationals versus the Baltimore Orioles. That makes sense. Those two teams practically live in each other's backyards. You have the Guardians versus the Reds. Again, makes sense. The Braves and the Boston Red Sox?
Gross.
No. I'm sorry, but those are not rivals. In my opinion, they put the two New York teams against each other because it's New York and New York. Contrived rivalries based on location, as known GM Elise says. And that's exactly it, because if this was really rivalry weekend, it would be Mets versus Phillies, right? It would be Boston Red Sox versus Yankees. None of this. I don't like any of this. But I really don't like being rivals with the Colorado Rockies. But I'll take it, I guess. So I guess we'll talk to the DNVR guys and see if they'll give us some insight on why this team is so bad. They fired Bud Black. There's a lot of badness going on. We're going to preview that series tomorrow. Again, make sure to join us for that at 2 p.m. We're going to have some fun. But, of course, we got some stuff to take care of before we get out of here. Kevin, do we have any Super Chats?
You know that we do.
What do we got?
Patrick Wayne Collects with the Super Chat says, sitting Marte for Lawler makes my brain hurt.
Yes. I mean, I'm glad we at least got a reason for that, and that was the reason. But, yeah, no, especially on a day where Ketel Marte had hit 2 home runs. Absolutely no reason to remove him from the game. Glad to know that it was by his choice. Glad to know that nothing sounds wrong. And again, I mean, we talk about this team kind of playing scared right now just a little bit. Part of the playing scared portion might just be, again, this whole thing with injuries. But I would much prefer that if Ketel is experiencing some stiffness, that he removes himself from the game and does everything he can to prevent there from being an actual injury, right?
Also, it like when you talk about, you know, being conservative with a guy like Ketel Marte's injury history, right? Also, this just sounds like a player that's ramping back up into baseball shape.
Yeah, it's true.
As someone who got injured in the early part of the season that was not in rhythm to begin with. And then you are going to get rhythm on the backfield games?
I mean,
you know what I mean? So like, I feel like ramping up, having some stiffness is probably pretty natural for this process.
Kevin, I'm not ramped up. And yesterday when we were watching that basketball game, I remember I pulled a hamstring, I think, from excitement from watching two teams make shots there late in the game. I don't know what that's like.
I'm not going to make fun of you because I'll be there one day.
Yeah, I know. It's my days are numbered. Mark R, thank you so much for your super chat. Mark says Erod is allowing an 869 OPS versus lefties.
Nice.
Gross. And Ryan is at 598 OPS versus lefties. Erod only has 6 more plate appearances against lefties. Stretch Ryan out and start him. And again, yeah, I'm not opposed to that, but I will say again that decision needs to be made soon, because if not, you can't expect much longevity there out of Ryan Nelson. You're going to put him in jeopardy of injuring himself, as well as, again, not being able to go very long as a starting pitcher. So, again, if you're going to make that decision, do it now. Derek Foster, appreciate a fellow Derek that knows how to spell his name right, says Koss flopping like LeBron. By the way, Koss's last name is spelled with a K, but then his first name is spelled with a C.
So lame.
And Kevin and I decided that's so lame.
Ever.
You're so lame. I would change that. Even if my parents did that, I would, as a grown adult, I'm changing the way
Christian Koss with a K sounds like the best heel in the Indies right now.
Yeah.
No?
I mean, him and Karrion Kross are a tag team.
Oh, my God.
Right?
Yeah.
Christian Koss and Karrion Kross, that goes hard. Carlos IP says, who needs to do cardio training when I can watch this team to get my heart rate up? Great series win. I have a hysterical text message. I don't know if I should be reading unallowed or unapproved text messages, but Dalton texted me to say he was watching the game with John Boy, who's watching the Yankees in the same room, and he saw the end of the game. He's like, how do you watch that bullpen? Ha, ha, ha. We don't know. We don't know, Jimmy. We have no idea how we watch this team, but it makes me sick every single time. Do appreciate you guys so much. Ooh, Jay Cuddy with the Fall and Prey reference. Yes, I appreciate all of my pro wrestling fans in the chat. You guys should all come watch me be a pro wrestling manager. I have a good time at that, and I'm pretty successful. So possibly more successful than I am here. But great night again tonight for the Diamondbacks. Off day tomorrow. Not sure at all what to do with our off day, but we will be back here at 2 p.m. So hopefully, if you're bored, join us. We're going to talk more about the Diamondbacks. We're going to preview that upcoming series with the Rockies, and hopefully bring you some insight as to why that team is so bad And why? Did I curse the Cardinals? Is that what's happening here?
I don't know. They're up 9-7 right now. It's the end of the 5th. The game's been kind of crazy. I don't know if you cursed them.
Someone said
Yoshi
that in the
did
chat.
call me out today, publicly on Twitter in some fan tier rankings.
Oh, well, Yoshi doesn't have room to talk because he has his allegiances are definitely with other teams as well. But I did want to give a quick shout out to or happy birthday to friend of the show, Hayden Parker. I don't know if I've told this story already, but our friend Hayden Parker, if you don't know, Hayden is the man, once again, behind those delightful MLB minis, that account. Kevin, if you wouldn't mind, since we are over 500 and we are talking about Hayden, would you send little Ketel up the mountain, please?
It never gets old, Derek. It never gets old.
It never gets old. And a big part of that is because our guy Hayden makes those little adorable minis of players being small. And I have no idea what prompted this idea, but I'm so glad whatever did prompt it, and that he has brought these images into our lives. So happy birthday to Hayden. I don't know if I've told this story already, but our very own social media queen, Emma, is, what do I say here, Kevin? Romantically linked to Hayden? Is that the best? That doesn't seem like
a pretty complicated way of saying that. But yeah,
really
for
is
sure.
like,
the point got across. We're here. We're already here. Let's just roll.
But Emma never proceeded to tell me who Hayden was. Even introduced Hayden to me, not by first and last name, because that would be a crazy thing to do. Hi, this is my significant other, Hayden Parker. Like, that would be weird. No, she just said his name to me. I met him. He was cool. We talked. He was a good guy, right? At no point did anybody ever relay to me that this was the same Hayden from the MLB Minis, who I already knew about and was a big fan of on my own. And I had to figure that out on my own through Instagram investigating one day when I saw Emma in his profile picture, and then everything all of a sudden clicked. And I'm still mad at Emma for that. So, and I feel like I feel like I'm allowed to be.
Derek, you know what a birthday deserves?
What's that?
A party noisemaker.
Oh, let's do it. Hey, happy birthday, Hayden. Now all I request is that you make me into an MLB mini. That's what I want for my birthday, is to be made into an MLB mini. But Kevin, the Diamondbacks again don't have a easy task ahead of them, because of course, if there is a team that is playing bad baseball, they typically get right against the Arizona Diamondbacks. And I don't want that to happen against our known rival, the Colorado Rockies.
What?
I don't.
Gross. Known rival.
I hate that.
Gross.
It doesn't sound right.
Look what Manfred's done to us.
Yeah, I definitely blame Manfred for this, for sure. But again, Diamondbacks all-time record against those Rockies, 262 to 209. Hopefully Ketel Marte plays in that game and indeed doesn't have any injuries. Jay Cuddy says, snakes hate mountains. Don't you know? What?
Also, his actual question aside, anything that ends in "don't you know," I just want to say it like that.
Yeah, it's a very Minnesota thing for sure. Caesar says, can we put Derek on a Topps MLB card? Oh, I would love that.
Derek gets like a Topps now for dyeing his beard teal.
Yeah, no, I see. Like I would enjoy that entirely too much. So there's no way that thing could happen. But I also think someone was asking about Sierra Santos, by the way. We are going to have her on, I hope, next week. I don't know if you had a chance to see, but her nightmare absolutely came true when she went to throw that first pitch out. It was bad, to say the least. So we're going to talk to her about it if she'll allow me to ask her about it. But a lot of fun stuff coming up. Hope you guys join us tomorrow at 2 p.m. for that show. In the meantime, you can follow us on Twitter. I am at cap_caveman with a K. Kevin is at Kevo Posts. Right? Kevo Posts.
It's actually serial killer. Like serial breakfast food killer.
One of the worst takes I've still ever heard in this entire office, and Totri resides in this office.
Totri dressed up like 11 from Stranger Things today. I don't care about his serial opinion.
I do want to let everybody know that Totri is fine health-wise, in case anybody had concerns after seeing what he looked like on the ASU show. I just want to say I think all of his blood work checked out fine. But anyway, our show is at PHNX_Dbacks. But as always, all roads lead to at PHNX_sports on Twitter Instagram, and Facebook. Appreciate you guys so much for stopping by today. We will see you again tomorrow at 2 p.m. Until then, hope you all have a wonderful evening. Hope you guys behave yourselves, which, by the way, if you are a diehard and you are in the Discord, you are who I'm talking about. You are specifically who I'm addressing when I say behave yourselves in the Discord, and have yourselves a wonderful evening. We'll be back again tomorrow. But until then, hope you guys eat something good tonight, and hope you join us tomorrow. Most importantly, hope you remember, kids, that baseball is fun, but it is so much more fun when your bullpen doesn't give you massive amounts of anxiety.
We all silly like the mayor.